Hello friends, this is Dr. Akshata Shanbag. In JT Kent Keynotes, today we will study the fourth remedy, Actia racemosa or Simicifuga, what we know. Actia racemosa is nothing but black cohosh. Kent says it is used especially in women for hysterical and rheumatic conditions. So they are sensitive to cold damp weather like Dulcamara and from being chilled. There is sensitiveness in the glands and larger organs such as liver and uterus. And rheumatism not only in the muscles and joints all over the body but also along the course of the nerves. There is nervous disturbance found in this remedy which will cause lack of will balance. We will see what is will balance and hysteria with rheumatism. And there is turmoil in the voluntary system which leads to stiffness in the muscles. So with the pains there is soreness all over the body, trembling, numbness and jerking of the muscles seen. So this is a general symptom which you find throughout the drug. There is sensitiveness to cold in all parts except head, which is better in the open air and from cold. Coming to mind symptoms, Kent explains that the Actia racemosa patient will have terrible mental state alternating with the physical state. She sits and mops in great sadness, as you see in Pulsatilla and Sorinum. There is gloominess, sorrow, melancholy, and they are low spirited. Suddenly, the girl will behave very nervous and hysterically. There is a state of sadness, and she will sit and say nothing. When she is questioned, she will break into tears or express in various ways. She is full of fear, anguish, restlessness, fear of death is seen, excitement and suspiciousness is seen, and she may say, will not even take the medicine because there is something wrong about it. She will be so much suspicious to take even the medicines. There is puerperal mania. The puerperal in the sense after delivery period, you call it as puerperium. So puerperal mania from taking cold during or soon after the confinement. So Kent explains the gloominess as sensation as if a black cloud had settled all over her, while at the same time it weighed like lead upon the head. So there is a heaviness or gloominess, sadness. That extent the sadness will be present in the Actia racemosa, he says. Coming to physical symptoms, symptoms keep alternating and changing. There is wandering type of pains. So the rheumatisms will change in a day into chorea, and again the choric movements will keep on with the soreness throughout the muscles of the body. So wherever there is soreness, stiffness and all, it's a rheumatic symptom. So we have to concentrate on those symptoms. So here you can see in this remedy there will be jerking, soreness and numbness often keep on together. Jerking of muscles when in a state of emotion or from being chilled. If any part of the body is pressed upon, this is very peculiar symptom or characteristic symptom. If any part of the body is pressed upon, jerking of the muscles of that part will take place. This is the extent of jerking you find in the Actia racemosa. So at night the whole side lane on will start jerking. Then he turns to the other side or back or any other position. So whichever part is lain on, or that is the pressure is being put, so will start jerking and will prevent sleep. This is the jerking you get in the Actia racemosa. And the mind is full of all sorts of imaginations, and the body is full of all sorts of uneasiness because she can find no place to rest upon. This is the statement told by Kent. So that is the level of the mind disturbance as well as the physical disturbance. The mental states following the disappearance of the rheumatism is a strong feature. The rheumatism gets better, but the mental state becomes worse. It keeps on alternating. As we said in the first statement, mental state as well as the physical state will follow each other. Sometimes the rheumatism disappears and diarrhea comes on with soreness. So, here instead of the mental symptoms after rheumatism, the diarrhea may come. So, diarrhea comes on with soreness and aching in the bowels, or menstrual flow will may start, relieving the complaints of rheumatism. But the mind is not disturbed here. So, some flow must be established. Otherwise, the mind takes on the trouble. So here what happens, either diarrhea has occurred or menstrual flow has occurred, which has relieved the rheumatism without disturbing the mind. So Kent says that if there is any flow after the rheumatism, then the mind will not be disturbed. Mind symptoms will not be prominent. The patient becomes gloomy or has a low form of mental excitement. So head symptoms, there is rheumatic headache. Now as we find rheumatism everywhere, so headache also will have rheumatic headache. And as I said you, rheumatic, when we say the word, so you have to understand the pain will be more of soreness, stiffness. So those symptoms will be found more. So even in the headache here, there will be sore, bruised feeling all over the head, bruised sensation in the occiput, sore bruised feeling in the top of the head, as if the top of the head would fly off, and as if the cold air was blowing upon the brain. So aggravation from catching cold from weather changes, from cold damp weather, and better by being in cold air. He gives both the things here, where there is aggravation from cold damp weather as well as better in the cold air. So there are many headaches in the Actia racemosa. Pressing headache is also found. Intense headache is found, as if a bolt were extending down into the back of the neck. The hysterical girls, they have much pain in the back of the neck. So most of the hysterical girls will have the pains, headache will in the back of the neck, he says. So headache with soreness in the eyeballs can be seen, where there is painful to turn in any direction. The eyeballs will be so much painful to even turn into any direction. Coming to female symptoms, which is very important in this drug Actia racemosa, it's a routine saying that Actia is that it takes confinement easy. It makes confinement easy. So based on this above saying, there is a routine practice of giving Actia in tincture or 2x or 3x, even if it was not similar to the case. He says that homeopathic physician never practices in this way. A remedy fits a general condition when the symptoms of that general condition are found in the remedy. So, it should not be a routine prescription always of any homeopathic remedy. If you find the general condition of the symptoms, and if you find the similarity between the patient symptoms and the remedy symptoms, only then you need to prescribe the drug, he says. So previously it was a routine practice to make the delivery easy. So confinement easy is delivery easy. So it is very useful in prolapses of uterus, he says, and it has relaxation of the parts. So pain in the uterine region, where there will be darting from side to side, bearing down pain, pressing out pain will be present. So again he says you cannot prescribe for prolapses. You must prescribe for the woman. You cannot prescribe for one symptom, because there are probably 50 remedies that have that symptom. As we know, for prolapses of uterus you have so many remedies, like Lilium tig, Murex is there, CPI is there, right? So we have to see the other symptoms which will match the woman. So don't think the remedy for prolapses alone. So there are menstrual disorders seen in this remedy in these historical rheumatic constitutions. So you have irregular cycles where there is copious, or it can be suppressed, or it can be scanty. There is severe pain all through the flow, and he gives very important symptom where there is more the flow, greater the pain. As the flow increases, the pains also will increase, the dysmenorrhea also increases. The sufferings are more during the menstrual flow as a rule, he says in Actia Resimosa. So rheumatic symptoms, extreme jerking and cramping of the limbs, sleeplessness are found during the menstruation. Epileptic spasms also may occur, soreness along the nerves can occur, and soreness in the muscles or joints during the flow can occur. Then this can increase in the mental symptoms also. The during menstruation there can be hysterical symptoms also. So again, dysmenorrhea will be rheumatic kind of dysmenorrhea. As I said you, rheumatic, wherever the word comes, the pain will be sore bruised feeling will be there. Similarly here there will be soreness, lame, bruised feeling in the uterus and ovarian region. So and many symptoms are found during pregnancy in this drug. So in pregnancy the symptoms keep on changing. There is changing of symptoms like pulsatilla, and a hysterical patient is difficult to manage because of this changing of symptoms, and also because she has a tendency to deceive the doctor. Shivering is the first stage of labor. Hysterical manifestations through the labor will begin. So the labor pains here, either all will be ceased or irregular, and either there may be no dilatation taking place. And if there is regular labor pains, the pains come and finish satisfactorily, or if it is regular and prolonged up to two-third progress, then she screams out and grasps her hip. Okay, she has to be rubbed and turned over. These are the different ways where the labor pains can occur and how it will be managed. And if she is subjected to any emotions like emotional stories and all being told during the labor pains, or if she hears some such stories, emotions, or some exciting things, so then the pain will suddenly stop. These are the different kinds of labor pains. And after the labor pains, the lochia will begin. It will start. So then she takes cold, and then the lochia will stop. And then she has cramps and troublesome after pains, and the milk will get suppressed. She feels sore and bruised all over and have fever. And there is weakness in the reproductive system of the woman. In general, he says, like colophilum. So there can be infertility or aborts in the early months of gestation. So during parturition, that is during delivery, contraction of uterus are too feeble to expel the contents. So labor like pains during menses with drawing pains in the thighs and legs and feet and toes can be seen. And uterine hemorrhages from inertia of the uterus also can be observed. There will be relaxation of muscles and ligaments, heaviness and prolapses and subinvolution can be seen. Excoriating leukorrhea will be observed, and the menses either can be too soon or too late. So this remedy has cured chorea at puberty when menstruation was late. This is the sentence given by Kent. So maybe some patients may come with such symptom which will be helpful clinically. So like pulsatilla, she is very sensitive to cold and wants warm clothings. And like ignatia, she is hysterical. And like actia spicata, only small joints most likely affected. So he gives the relationships. And then coming to some back symptoms, where there is again rheumatic stiffness of the back, very sensitive spine, and so much sensitive that impossible to lie upon the back or side of the body because of the contraction of the muscles of the back and jerking of the muscles. Previously, we have told that any part being pressed, the jerking will begin in that muscle. Back of the head and neck will be sore, and the head is drawn back from contraction of the muscles at the nape of the neck. Violent aching down the back will be seen. Some heart symptoms are also present in this remedy. So there is fluttering, quick pulse, irregular action of the heart, a feeling in the region of the heart as if the heart were sore and as if it were enlarged. And in the nerves there is hysterical spasms, convulsions, trembling of the legs, hardly able to walk, paralytic weakness. So these are the symptoms he has given, and he gives about the dosage of this remedy. The best effect has resulted from the 30th, 200,000th and still higher potencies, and from the use of medicine in single doses he gives. So some relations he gives where it is similar to blue cohosh, that is Colophyllum, and also compares it with Pulsatilla sepia, Nadramur, Lilium tic, Colophyllum and Ignatia. So I hope it has helped you to understand Actia racemosa according to Kent. Thank you.